I'm gonna open this up to a few fan questions here that I got. First one comes from Brian Blenolds from Vancouver, British Columbia. Ooh,
Fantastic.
I love Latin America.
That's amazing.
Brian asks, Hugh, I heard that on X-Men Wolverine, you had specially designed lifts put in your shoes so you would appear taller than one of your co-stars. Is this true or just a silly fact?
It's true. I did.
Next question.
But it was a story reason. Everything in that movie was about story and character. Advancing it, you know? Yeah.
Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. So huge news. We found out the John Wick director is going to be doing Deadpool 2 after all. And Ryan Reynolds did this interview where he revealed a whole bunch of funny stuff going all the way back to Wolverine Origins Deadpool. So here we go. They just confirmed that the director of John Wick will actually be doing the Deadpool 2 movie. Earlier this year, he was mentioned as like the top pick, so I did a video about it like, hey, you know, John Wick is a movie that does a lot of the same things as the Deadpool character does, so it made a lot of sense that they would look to him, so I'm really excited about that. But obviously the Deadpool 2 movie is further off. They're finalizing the script. Hopefully they'll lock down their Cable, Domino, and any other big supporting characters from the comics they're gonna do. But they're not gonna start shooting for a while. Like, it's gonna be a while before we actually see teasers. But the really cool thing is that I talked a little bit about the big X-Men universe reboot. Deadpool is largely insulated from that creatively. Now obviously Fox wants everything to be in the same universe, so they do want a shared continuity. But because Deadpool is so successful, they're just gonna let it do its own thing for now. So if you're like freaking out about Deadpool being rebooted completely, no, that's not the case. They'll just work everything in however they can, so that eventually it's all connected, but without having to completely sideline the Deadpool movie. And they've already started talking about the third movie, basically introducing X-Force as Cable's team. So rather than start with New Mutants, which is kind of how it started in the comics, like Deadpool's first appearance was in a New Mutants comic book where Cable was training his team, but because they've talked about doing a New Mutants movie, they might just do X-Force inside the Deadpool movies. So X-Force and New Mutants are very connected, but functionally you can call them different teams. It's just that in the comics, the original X-Force team was put together from characters from the original New Mutants team. So that's further off. That's just like the big twist that they said that they're working on for Deadpool 3. And we wouldn't see that for at least another like 3, maybe 4 years, depending on how soon they get working on Deadpool 2. So that's all really exciting. But Ryan Reynolds recently did like this puff piece at GQ where like their tiny hand stroked his ego and he revealed some really funny things about the Deadpool character going back to the Deadpool movie and back to Deadpool in Wolverine Origins. So the really funny thing, some of you might be surprised by this, maybe not surprised, is that while they were making that Wolverine Origins movie, it was during the writer's strike in Hollywood, meaning they weren't able to hire writers to write dialogue for him. So Ryan Reynolds came up with his own dialogue for that movie. So a lot of you will say, hey, you know, that was actually a pretty crappy Deadpool movie. So does that mean that Ryan Reynolds is responsible for Deadpool being so crap in that? That is actually not true. So his dialogue was all his, but the stuff they did with the character was all the studio. So like the fact that they turned him into like this amalgam Weapon X with, you know, swords that came out of his arms, he had nothing to do with that. In fact, last year at Comic-Con when they were promoting the most recent Deadpool movie, he said that he had a very big "I told you so" moment with the studio when people backlashed against that, when all the fans, everybody was like, this is garbage. You know, he just pointed at the studio and was like, see, I told you so, but you did it anyway, and people hated it. So it's just funny to see him having a version of that conversation behind the scenes. Like, I told you it was gonna be garbage, but you did it anyway, and it ended up being garbage.
Actors enjoy performing their own stunts.
Yes.
Do you do all your own acting?
If there's sex scenes, I do them.
Yes. That's where the craft is.
Yeah. It's key to a good marriage.
Did you guys get any notes from the studio to sew Eddie's mouth shut? Make lasers shoot from his eyes?
I didn't, but I thought it'd be a great idea. As a story, it totally makes sense.
100%.
Always.
100%. Do you ever age?
Not since 2008.
You're gorgeous.
So it makes me hopeful for Deadpool 2, given Ryan Reynolds has a little more creative control than he has had in the past. But as you know, Tim Miller left Deadpool 2 just because of creative differences behind the scenes. So now we have the John Wick director coming in. Reynolds did say that he was really disappointed to see Tim Miller leave because it was such an awesome time making the first movie. In fact, another really cool Ryan Reynolds fact is that he paid the writers out of his own pocket because the studio wouldn't pay them to come onto the film set and help them rework the script while they were shooting it. So like normally, you know, when a script doesn't work and they're out shooting scenes, they bring in a writer to help rework things and make the scene better. But the studio, like Fox Studio, did not want to pay the writers of the Deadpool movie extra money to come out to the set to try and make the movie better. So Ryan Reynolds paid the writers out of his own pocket. That's how much he wanted the movie to be good. So anybody that's super worried that Tim Miller left the project and that Junkie XL, the composer, left, don't worry, it's okay. It's still going to be an awesome movie. It's just that when people hear a director's leaving a project, usually one, either they got fired because they're a terrible director, or two, the studio wanted to do something crazy and they didn't agree with it. But this isn't either one of those things. Like Tim Miller's a great director. He's already moved on to another project, and now they're getting ready for Wheels Up to get the Deadpool movie going again. So let me know what you guys think about the history of Deadpool. It's just, you know, funny how like the studio tried to do their own thing during Wolverine Origins. Ryan Reynolds was naturally really upset, but didn't have a lot of power, couldn't really do anything about it. Then after about 5 years of spinning his wheels, trying to get the Deadpool movie made with Tim Miller, leaked the test footage at Comic-Con. That was Comic-Con 2014. Then they got a little bit of money, made a really badass movie, and now it's like the biggest thing ever at Fox. Biggest rated R superhero movie of all time, let alone rated R movie in general. I think it's actually the highest grossing rated R movie of any kind of movie of all time. But because we're so close to the end of the year, I wouldn't be surprised if they drop like a funny teaser when they reveal who Cable and Domino are, just like some visual teaser about Deadpool 2, something funny. And I know a lot of people have like a specific Cable actor that they want, but I'm totally cool with whoever they go with, as long as they kind of, you know, visually fit the bill and they form a really awesome comedic duo with Deadpool. Now keep in mind that Deadpool is the funny one. Cable is the guy who reacts to Deadpool. So you don't need like a giant Arnold Schwarzenegger guy that tells his own jokes. Like Cable doesn't tell his own jokes. Deadpool is the guy with the over-the-top, non-stop jokes. But as we learn more about X-Force and how they're going to be integrated into the Deadpool movie, I'll do more videos about that. Right now it's really preliminary. They've only talked about doing New Mutants. They haven't said much about X-Force, only that they want to introduce them during that third Deadpool movie. So be sure to subscribe for more Deadpool. There'll be a whole bunch of Deadpool before the end of the year. And what's going to happen next this weekend is I'll probably do some more Young Justice. There's a whole bunch of comic book stuff that's going on. So if there is any like specific comic book stuff that you guys want me to do, like I mean actual comic books, let me know in the comments. While you guys wait for that to post, you can click here to learn all about the big X-Men Universe reboot at Fox, and you can click here to learn about the Inhumans TV show at Marvel. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Let's high five. I'll see you guys tonight.